So welcome to our team call, you guys. It is almost the end of August. This month has just flown by. It's the 25th already. So we're down to less than a week left. So in our call tonight, I want to talk a little bit about making sure that you get to Success Club, because I have seen that so many of you are so close. Like there's so many of you at like 4 or 3 or 2 points. And, you just need like 1 or 2 more people to sign up. We've got some really cool things coming up here in the next month. So this is the weekend to rev it up, crank it into high gear, and just don't leave those points on the table. Success Club is a huge indicator of your business's growth. So as long as you're hitting Success Club every month, you really don't have to worry too much about doing anything else. When I first started, that was just ingrained in me. It's like Success Club 5 every single month, make it a non-negotiable. And then once you get that done, then you can kind of think about expanding your business. Maybe it's working on a like page or a blog or something like that. But always make sure that you come back to Success Club. And if you do that, then everything else tends to take care of itself. So for those of you that are just hopping on the call, I want to welcome you, and also make sure that you use the chat feature here too. And as I said before, just hop right in, unmute yourself if you want to speak. I don't necessarily want to speak to myself all night, but I do have some slides that I want to show you guys. So we'll get started with that right away. Can you guys see the slides? Just go like this if you can see my screen here. Okay, cool. So this is kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. I kind of shared that on our team page, so I'll just dive in and get started right away. So first of all, like I mentioned, Success Club, we have several people that have already hit it. Nicole was like one of the first. She dialed it in real early, like by week 1 or 2, she had SC 15. She just was amazing. So we have Megan, Nita, Lucy, Melanie, Denise, and my husband, which he didn't actually do it himself, but I put him on the list anyway. So congrats to all of you guys. But I want to look at all of those down at the bottom. You guys are so close. So if you are not in that Success Club Crunch Time group, that's where you all need to be in right now. Or, there's some of you that maybe don't even have any Success Club points yet, and that is fine. You can still get them. We still have, let's see, 26, 7, 8, 9, 30. It's a long month, so we almost have a full week left. We've got 6 full days. Our next group, our health bet is coming up, and it's opening on Monday in preseason. So that's really what we're going to be hitting it hard this weekend with inviting for that. So the training, like I mentioned, we have the Success Club Crunch Time, which is open now. There's a link in our team page if you'd like to be added to that. And I want you to also feel free to post questions in there. Let me know what you're struggling with, because I don't always know how to help you if I don't know what you need help with. So make sure that you're posting questions if you need help with the verbiage that you're using when you're inviting. If you need help in overcoming, that fear of no that we kind of have, we'll touch on that a little bit tonight. So just make sure that you are telling us, the other coaches in the group, what you need help with. Because, we're a community, we're a team, we're here to help each other out. So maybe something you're struggling with, another coach has had success with doing it themselves, and they've got some great tips to offer. So just make sure that you're not shy in those groups at all. Also, for our Emerald coaches and above, the 6 weeks to Diamond group is still going on in full swing. You still have time to make it to our retreat in Destin. We are little bit over a month out from that. I just booked my ticket last week. We've got some coaches that are thinking of booking their tickets now. We've got some that are very, very close to Diamond. As long as you hit Diamond by the 29th, girls, you're eligible to go. And the house looks amazing. We're going to have so much fun. I was talking to Jacqueline today, and I'm just going to mention a few of the things that will be going on there. Not all of them are set in stone, so don't hold me to this, but we're going to do the first night like a meet and greet with pizza and icebreakers and getting to know each other, really touching upon why we went into coaching and what's driving us, and, you know, doing some of those things that help us get to know other coaches. Friday workouts, we've got a training. I'm not going to mention any names, but an elite coach hopefully will be coming in for training, possibly a mentor from Beachbody. You know, Dustin's got some cool things. We'll probably go out that night. Saturday, we're hoping to get a photographer to do some fun beach photos. If you guys need some stuff for your Facebook page, maybe some cool headshots, things like that. That's kind of on the wish list. We have yet to nail some of this stuff down, but it's falling into place, and definitely something to aim for. So that's the Diamond group. Also, there's a new coach, Surge, which is, it's a call. I believe it's a 90-minute call hosted by our CEO, Carl Deichler. And that isn't just for brand new coaches. That is for coaches that maybe have been, you just started out maybe in the last 90 days. It's coaches that maybe were discount or transitioning into being a working coach. So if you feel like you fit that category, you're a newer coach, please listen in on that. And then we will start a new coach training on the 12th. And the reason why we're starting it a little bit later, normally I start it the first Monday of the month. Well, the first Monday of the month in September is Labor Day. And with everyone focusing on back to school, I just feel like we would be setting ourselves up for failure by starting a new coach group then. So that's why it's September 12th instead of the 5th. So just a little note, you should be in at least one training group. Let me know if you aren't sure which one you should be in, and I will help you out with that. But, you know, as coaches wanting to expand our businesses, we should always be learning more. There's always new things to learn. There's always personal development to be taken into consideration. So make sure that you're in a training group, you guys. Okay, I mentioned the Surge. Yep, it's Thursday, September 1st, so that's like a week from today. Take note of the time. And if you have new coaches under you, make sure that they're aware of this. Make sure that you send them this information. Oh, skipped one. Okay, so the Health Bet. Our groups are opening in preseason on Monday. So this weekend is the weekend to invite. Just because they open on Monday doesn't mean that that's the drop dead deadline for getting them in. But this is a really time-sensitive group, because if they don't have their Shakeology on order, they won't be able to log those first 5 servings when the group actually launches on the, the 3rd or 4th, whatever that first Monday is in September. So they will need to log at least 5 Shakeology servings and 3 Beachbody workouts every week. So that's kind of why I open preseason then. That's why I want to make sure that we all hit it hard now and don't have too many people trickling in later and having issues with their Shakeology shipments. So the way we have it split up right now, we've got 3 groups. I've got one of my own because I do have a lot of people that are on Shakeology Home Direct that wanted to be in a group. I also have another group for coaches that maybe only have 1 or 2 challengers, for coaches that don't have any challengers. And then I am going to be doing a co-ed group, because so many of us have our husbands on Shakeology. Maybe they're a little bit resistant to doing the whole challenge group. So I think that'll be a really fun one. That one will probably be a little bit smaller, but another great inviting opportunity if you have men in your lives that maybe have been a little bit hesitant to work out or join a group. You know, the whole idea of getting money out of this, I think, will be a huge draw for them. So let's see, was there a question here? I guess I'll look at the questions later. Okay, so what can you guys be doing to leverage the Health Bet? What I suggest doing, what I've done and is really working for me, is to create a Facebook event page. Oh, you've logged in from another device. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I don't want to end meeting. That's weird. Okay, you guys, sorry, I'm talking to myself. I don't know where else I would have logged in from. Someone's using my account. So anyway, create your event page. Every person that creates an event page can invite up to 500 people. So I would suggest starting with prior challengers, people that are on your prospects list, people that you want to work with. And then just invite all your friends. I mean, there's really nothing to lose by inviting people. I tap out. Like, I have more than 500 people that I want to invite. So for me, like that's almost like not enough. So I've been private messaging a lot of people. Okay, let me see. I'm just gonna read the chats here too quickly. Okay, so Stacy wants to know when they need their order placed by. Well, okay, so they need their Shakeology by the first weekend or first week in September. So if, normally for me it takes a week to arrive, but they can pay to expedite their shipping. There is a 2-day shipping option, which I believe it's kind of expensive. It costs like, I don't know, 18, 19 bucks. So that's always an option if they're pinched for time. Okay, so it looks like we've got that answered. Yeah, I would make sure they order it by that Monday or Tuesday, but like I said, there will be that option to expedite it. And another thing that I'm going to be doing is offering a 5-day, just like I'll send you 5 Shakeology packets and you can pay me via PayPal. I ship priority mail, and that usually only takes like 2 or 3 days, and I don't charge a whole lot. I do like, what is it, like $6.85 for those little flat rate envelopes. So that's what I do. Okay, challenge pack. Okay, Megan, I'll touch a little bit on the challenge tracker app in a second here. Okay, Don's question was, is it co-ed or couples? It's co-ed. So you can invite a guy. It doesn't have to be couples. I do have some challengers that are male that I will invite. They don't have to bring a spouse or anything like that. So it can go either way. Okay, so back to what I'm doing with the health bet. So I'm creating the event page, and then I'm inviting. So I want you guys to invite as many people as you can, starting with those high priority people that you think will say yes. Then if you run out of those, just invite your friends that are on your friends list. So I want you to message them. Everyone that indicates that they are going or interested, you need to message them privately. Tell them about it, tell them why you're excited about it, and then ask them if they'd like more information. Now, you don't word vomit here, you guys. Like, you just say, hey, I noticed you were interested. Do you want more information? And then also include a little bit about why you're excited about it. Because if it comes off as a sales pitch, you're going to scare them away. So you want it to sound like a conversation and nothing, just don't be too salesy, you guys. Just start that dialogue. And then when you do message them, if you don't hear back from them, I do follow up. And I will probably be following up with my people Sunday, right before the day of the group. So it is a more time-sensitive message at that point. You just say, our group's opening tomorrow. I'm working on finalizing my list. Would you like to be included? Let me know either way. So sometimes you do need to say, let me know either way, otherwise they'll blow you off. So ask for that call to action. Another thing with your event page, make sure you are posting in there frequently. That will bump that back up into your news feed. Write little things about your favorite Shakeology recipe, things about why you're excited about doing a co-ed group. If you want to look in my event page just to see what I've been posting, I think a lot of you are in there already, but you can request to join that. I'll approve you. In fact, I don't think you need a request, or I don't even know that I need to approve you at this point. But if you want to go in there and just look to see what I'm posting, you can use those for ideas. You can use whatever you want to do. But the important thing is to keep it active so that it's bumped up in the newsfeed and people are reminded of what's going on with this. So, and then once you have confirmed them, then you will add them to the app. Now, if you go into my challenge tracker portal, and this should help you out, Megan. So I believe that's the URL, my challenge tracker portal. I'll have to double check on that. But I get in on that on my desktop. For me, it's just easier to look at things on my desktop. And there's a point where you can input their name and their email and click invite. And then you're inviting them to that group. you can see if they've accepted that invitation. If they haven't, if a few days have gone by and they haven't accepted it, you can resend that invitation. And then it kind of is almost like a Facebook group. If you go into that My Challenge Tracker portal, you can see what people are posting. You can comment right on your computer if you aren't on your phone. It's just kind of a desktop version, which for me tends to work better when I'm at home. So hopefully that answers your question, Megan. I think you've been added as an admin for the group, so you can add your challengers at this point. So yeah, hopefully that answers it. What else was I going to say? I lost my train of thought here. Oh, maybe it'll come back to me later. Oh, sorry guys. I thought I had something I was going to say. Okay. So with that, I also wanted to mention a little bit about the new stuff on Beachbody On Demand, because there are 3 new things that are really cool since our last call. We've got the 20s, which is the reality show. It's kind of almost like a Big Brother or like The Amazing Race or something like that. It's like a quick little 20-minute show. Each week they're doing a new episode, and they're, it's almost like America's Top Model. Next, was that what that show is called? I don't know. It reminds me of so many of these reality shows where, there's a competition and then somebody gets the boot at the end of the episode. So the main thing is at the end, they will have a new celebrity trainer to develop a Beachbody program, which is really cool. They've got people that have come in with all different types of skill sets. We've got people into strength. There's this one guy who wants to do a pole dancing format. People of all different shapes and sizes. There was a bigger girl. I don't know, all sorts of cool stuff. But all of these people are in their 20s. So I kind of feel like Beachbody is trying to hit that younger demographic. Doesn't necessarily fit me, but I feel like I need to get involved with the show, figure out what's going on, see what they're looking for in the next celebrity trainer, because chances are they're going to come out with a program that I will be promoting. So I would highly recommend that, talking about it on your social media channels. Like if you're watching it, try to get people to talk, if you are watching this, who do you think would be the best next celebrity trainer, that kind of thing. So Fixate is another really cool thing that just got added in the last week. Another huge selling point for Beachbody On Demand, because so many people are using the Portion Fix containers. It's not just for 21-day fix. It's 22-minute hardcore, hammer and chisel, size. All of the more recent workout programs utilize those containers. So this is Autumn Calabrese and her brother, Bobby, who is a chef. They've come up with a little mini episode of just different recipes they can do, a pantry raid, things like that. So it's really a cool show. If you guys haven't seen it, that's another thing that you could be talking about on social media. Oh, thanks for supplying that link there, Nicole. Yeah, Fixate is really cool. Love it. Okay, yeah, and then the 3-week yoga retreat is coming up in September. I watched one of their sneak peek videos. They had it on Beachbody On Demand last week. Someone said it was kind of easy. It is a little bit more of those fundamentals, a little bit more basic than some of their workouts, but I think it'll be a great draw for people that want a program that is strictly yoga. I mean, Beachbody has a yoga DVD or, a yoga workout with 21-day fix. P90X has yoga, but it's not like a dedicated yoga program. So this will be great for those people that ask for yoga, because we'll finally have something to offer them, and it is on Beachbody On Demand. So that comes out at, I believe, the beginning of September. So another thing, back to the Health Bet, they do not have to purchase a challenge pack to participate. They simply need the Shakeology servings, and they need a program. So let's say they have Shakeology already. Say they're on Home Direct. They might have a program already. You can also have them do Beachbody On Demand and do their programs that way. But I also make sure that I always mention, if you are purchasing Shakeology, the challenge packs are so much more, it's a much better value, because there's so many of them are $140 this month, you guys. All the popular ones are on sale for just a little bit more than Shakeology by itself. If they don't need a program, you can even offer to buy it back for $10, which is basically the difference. you can say, well, gift it, give it to someone in your family that you'd normally give a Christmas gift to, things like that. So there really isn't any reason why they should be buying Shakeology by itself right now, in my opinion. So let me see. Next one. Okay, so let me just check. Did we have anything on the chat bar? How can I scroll down here? Okay, so I did want to talk a little bit about Power Hour priorities and making the most of your time, because I know that I always get this message, how do you guys do it all? What are you guys doing? I work full time, I've got kids, all this kind of stuff. How do I get it all done? Well, it's not always easy, but it can be done. I've seen so many top coaches, diamond coaches, that have a full life. They're working more than 40 hours a week. They've got little kids. They've got, just tons of stuff going on, and they are killing it in this business. So I just want to give you some information on what sets them apart from other coaches, in my opinion. So just to maybe go back a little bit with your Power Hour, making sure that you're doing the right things is very important, and dialing it back to the basics, especially those vital behaviors. We talk about those all the time, but it's so important. After you've done your workout and your clean eating and your personal development, then we talk about inviting. And I don't always like the word inviting. I consider it connecting with people. So for me, it's more than 3 to 5 people, because I want to grow my business more quickly. But for most of you guys, if you're just aiming to hit, maybe Success Club 5 or Success Club 10, 3 to 5 people daily, that's all you really need to be doing. But you have to be doing that consistently. If you do it one day and blow it off for 2 days, well, you'll need to catch up. So it is very important to keep that pace, or if you do take a day or two off, to make up for it. So when I reach out to people, I'm not talking, hey, you want to buy a challenge pack? No, it's not like that at all. You have to warm people up. You have to show them how much you care, that you're actually interested in their lives, before you can even bring up that subject of Beachbody. If it doesn't come up naturally, I just put the conversation on the back burner until I feel like it's more comfortable to ask those things. So for me, connecting with 3 to 5 people is just having conversations. It's not even inviting. Like I said, people need to see how much you care about them before you even have the right to ask them to join a challenge group, in my opinion. So another thing that's really important is that people on your social channels actually see that you're walking the talk. I mean, if you're inviting them to challenge groups and they've never seen you do a fitness post in your entire life, if they don't know that you're into fitness, what type of credibility will you have, right? So, one example from my life, I'm always getting people coming up to me and saying, oh, I just love your fitness posts. You're so into fitness, or like they'll say stuff like that, and they've never commented or liked or, even had any inkling for me that they have even seen my stuff on social. So know that people are watching you, even if they don't like and comment, and having that presence out there is so, so important, because eventually when they are ready to try something, they'll reach out to you. Your name will be fresh in their mind. They'll know that you're that fitness person. So that's why we do that. I mean, a lot of people are hesitant to do the selfies. They're hesitant to post that frequently. But when you really think about why you're doing it, it makes sense. And the photos are very important. It's not being narcissistic to take a selfie. It is a connecting point between you and a potential client or a potential coach. If they don't know what you look like, what you sound like, what your vibe is, they'll go to someone else. They want to feel comfortable with you. They want to know what you look like, what you like doing. They want to get to know you. So the best way for you to do that is just put that out there in the most effective way that you can, whether it's a selfie or a video or whatever. But, don't think of it as being narcissistic, which is kind of the mindset I started with. But now I've kind of come to the realization that that's really not what it's about. So another thing that's really important is expanding your network. I mean, if you're inviting the same 10 people all the time and they're consistently saying no, you need to find new people, right? So you need to be adding 3 to 5 people every day in addition to the ones that you're connecting with. So that will just ensure that you have a fresh stream of prospects, that you're making new contacts, that you're not bugging. I don't want to think of it as bugging, but you know what? If you do run out of people on your friends list, it is very frustrating. You want to always be adding more to that warm market and warming them up before you do deliver your message. So, and I also get the question a lot, well, how do I expand my network? Just friends of friends that, there's that suggested friends list on Facebook. I friend a lot of people that way. I get a lot of people coming to me now, which is really nice. So I don't necessarily have to do that. For me, I'm using my like page to get more people, and I can do a separate call on like page marketing. I'm learning more about that with the Jesse Regan training that I was able to get in on. So if you're not comfortable using your personal Facebook wall or profile page, I would suggest doing a like page and maybe boosting an ad or targeting it to a certain niche that resonates with you and expanding your market that way. You can also ask for referrals. That's a great way to get people into your social network. If people say no, then maybe you want to say, well, do you know of anybody that would be interested? Would you mind introducing us? That way it doesn't have to be weird or anything like you totally reaching out to them on your own. Ask for an introduction so it doesn't feel creepy. And then again, the last thing is to always follow up. And sometimes you need to follow up to 10 times, sometimes even more. Like I have people on my list, and you have to work from a list, you guys. At my Teamsy list, I've got tons of people on that list. When they come up, I just do a little, hello, how's it going? Just kind of a circle back to whatever conversation we had started before. And if it comes up that I want to invite them for a group, they say no, I'll say, well, do you mind if I check back with you next month? Almost always they say yes. I have never had someone tell me to, take a flying leap and stop contacting you. If I did, I would gladly take them off the list. But until they do, I'm going to keep asking, because you know what? Eventually I might get a yes. So this is weird, you guys. Okay, I was having a hard time pulling up the chat here. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm keeping up with these questions. Okay, once you friend somebody or they friend you, do you immediately add them to your private group? No, Stacy, I usually don't. Every once in a while I'll put a link out to my group and just say, hey, would you like to join? Just kind of a general broadcast kind of thing. And I guess it depends on what kind of group that you're talking about. I get a lot of people just asking to join my group, and then I'll reach out to them. If they're not somebody that I'm currently working with as their coach, I'll say, are you interested in a program? I can help you find one. Are you working with someone already? That kind of thing. So that's kind of what I do. But when I friend people, it's not with the immediate intention of adding them to a group. It's more of just getting them into my social network so that eventually I will know them well enough to invite them. So Denise, if you add a friend of a friend, how do you typically start the conversation? Normally those people, like I said, I would ask for an introduction. If I don't get one, I would probably just post something on their wall like, hey, thanks for the ad, something really simple. I would not start pitching them Beachbody right away. You don't want to come across as being weird and creepy and salesy. And for me, I would probably not feel comfortable unless I knew somebody. Commenting on their photos is a great way to get to know somebody. Asking them questions like, hey, I really like your headband in that photo. Where did you get it? Things like that. It's just a really, an easy way to start a conversation without being creepy. Keep using that word. Okay. Oh, Megan was the one that logged in as me. Okay. Anyway, I'll keep continuing on. I don't have too much more, you guys, and then I want to open it up for questions too. So just these are some time hacks that I use when I'm really, really crunched for time and I have to get things done quickly. So I don't know if you guys have the voice message feature. I use it in two ways. I use it when responding to Facebook messages now because it goes so much faster than typing. Unless, you know, like I can type a really quick response, then I'll do that. But another reason why I really like the Facebook voice messaging system is because then people can actually get a feel for me, my voice, as creepy as it is or weird as it is. I hate the sound of my voice, but at least they get a little bit more of, you know, that feeling for who I am, as opposed to like when you're just typing something out, it's sometimes hard to know the tonality or the intention or, you know, like just their tone that they would have when they're typing it. It makes things way more personal, especially when you're inviting. I would really, really use that voice messaging feature and just see if you're getting more yeses if you do that. I really think that you will. I find that when I use the voice messaging instead of just typing stuff, they're very happy. They're grateful that I've taken the time to do that. So, which is funny because it actually takes less time. So another thing I use the voice messaging feature for is like on my little notes thing on my iPhone. You know, I don't know if you guys have it. It looks like a little legal pad, like a little yellow thing. And so what I do is I open that up and I use the microphone feature and I'll just speak into that when I think of a cool post idea. And that way it just dictates my words into text and then I don't have to type it. So it's great. Like I'll dictate a post while I'm sitting in carpool waiting to pick up my kids, do things like that. It makes things really, really easier. And then another cool advantage of doing it that way is you actually come across how you would speak. Instead of like when you type things out, sometimes it doesn't sound natural. It doesn't sound like how you would say things. So it's an easy way to kind of inject your personality into your posts as well. Let's see, did we get a question here? For some reason, my chat doesn't want to come down. I'll look at them later. Okay, so for personal development, you guys, I hardly ever read anymore. I used to be a huge bookworm, but now I feel like the most efficient way for me to get my PD in is podcasts, Audible, YouTube, anything that I can listen to without actually having to read. So I listen to National Wake Up Call in the shower or on the treadmill. I always have Audible open when I'm cooking. You know, if I'm driving, especially a long distance, I usually always have an Audible book open. So that's how I do my personal development. And also, like, if you are really strapped for time, you have to eliminate all your distractions. And I like this airplane mentality, I call it, because I've been on a lot of flights lately and I'll buy the Wi-Fi because I want to get work done on the plane. And oftentimes it'll only allow you to log in for like an hour. You can either buy an hour or you can buy a pass for the entire duration of the flight. So if you buy an airplane Wi-Fi pass for an hour, what are those things that you have to get done? So I always like, when I'm on an airplane, I'm super productive because I know that I'm paying for that time. So if you have that mentality and you set a timer, like you only have an hour and you have to get all of this done, you will bust ass. Sorry for the language, but like you will like totally bust it out and you will get it done. So with that, you want to block your news feed. You do not want to get sucked into Facebook. Turn off the TV if you've got kids and family and pets. You want to go somewhere where it's quiet, that they aren't going to like bang on the door and distract you. Eliminate as many of those distractions as you can. That said, I do know that that's not always possible. I mean, I've got a family too. So, you know, like I just do as much as I can from my phone. Carpool, like I spend a lot of time just waiting to pick my kids up from different activities. So I'll do things on my phone during that time. Or if I'm waiting in a line at a grocery store, I'll pull out my phone. Like I do not waste any time, you guys. So just look for those little snippets of time, even if it's only 5 minutes, to come up with a post, to start a post, to respond to challengers' messages in your Facebook groups, that type of thing. Just don't waste time. Another thing, I think I see a lot of coaches overthinking their Facebook posts. And I just want to remind you to keep it simple. You don't have to have a fancy collage. Oftentimes a single photo is more effective because you can zoom in on your face and your eyes aren't going in a million different directions. So you really want to think about what your point is when doing this post. I would keep it simple, do one photo, one really clear, nice, crisp image, and skip all the fancy stuff. Like really, like some of it just looks like clutter to me. So yeah, keep it simple. Try to get your post done very quickly. If you're going to spend time on something, I would not have it be the image. I would have it be the text and what is the point of this post? Why are you posting it? Are you adding value? Are you entertaining them? Are you giving them a tip? Are you sharing something vulnerable about yourself? So those are the things that you really want to be thinking of when you do a social media post. And yeah, you want the photo to be eye-catching, and you want people to stop their newsfeed scroll to look at it. And collages, they kind of serve a purpose, but I would tend to stay away from them in general. So I believe that's all I have, you guys, for tonight. So I'm going to stop the screen share and just open it up to conversation, and you guys can either type in the chat bar what you want me to talk about or unmute yourself, and we can just start from there. So I'm going to stop the screen share here, you guys. All right. Okay. Catch up with some of these messages here. Okay, Kristen, you had some great tips. Is Kristen still on the call?
Yep.
Do you want to you've got some great tips, Kristen. Do you want to just add? I'm sure you have tons of stuff to add to what I just said. Do you want to talk for a few minutes?
Yeah, so sorry that I was late, so I missed the first 10 minutes. But as far as like friending new people, so I personally get like super irritated when I get like random friend requests from people and then nothing. So I always make sure that, Kim had suggested going to their wall and posting, but I even like to just do a private message to them. But I typically wait to do that until after they accept my friend request, because if you private message somebody prior to them accepting your request, it goes into their other folder and they don't see it anyway. So then I usually will just send a message and I'll be like, hey, Jane, thanks for accepting my request. I'm looking to connect with other people in, the Ramsey area or in our neighborhood, or however I ended up being connected with them. And then I give them a little bit more information about me and then I always end with a question about them. So for me, a lot of times my connection is other moms with kids at the same age that I am right now. So that's a pretty easy way for me to connect with other people. Or maybe we went to the same high school, or our husbands are friends, or things like that. So I just always recommend taking that extra moment to reach out and show that you're not just some networker that's looking to grab people, that you really, again, truly care about them. And I don't usually talk about what I do until they ask what I do, and then I talk about being a health and fitness coach and stuff like that. So.
That sounds great. Yeah, great points, Kristen. I was wondering too, let's see, what else were we talking about on the conversation before inviting your power hour? And I know your kids are really busy too, into sports and all that. So how do you leverage your time? I'm sure you're the same as me, like on your phone, doing posts from like the soccer field or things like that. So do you have any tips for the coaches out there that don't think they have enough time?
It really is. When I end up having days where I'm not very productive, but I'm spending a lot of time, it's because I'm overthinking things, or I'm getting lost in the news feed, or I'm looking at other coaches' stuff. It's stuff that I'm doing to myself. So when I'm in a time crunch, it is just a lot of just put it out there. Just do it once. Don't think about it. Put it out. If somebody doesn't like it, they'll scroll on by and they'll forget about it. If someone is drawn to it, then they'll interact with you. Don't obsess about it. But yeah, using my phone for so much is a big thing. And I'm super excited that like the Coach Online office is going to be mobile friendly soon, that we're going to have a lot more tools. But I absolutely leverage tools like WordSwag, Facetune, some of those other social media tools to just get my posts ready to go, and then bang them out.
Yeah. And your posts always look really amazing. And yours are very clean and simple. So I don't know. What is your feeling on like the whole collage and just keeping things simple? I guess when I see yours, I think clean, simple, scroll stopping. So just know that you're doing it right.
Thank you. I
Well,
think in the beginning, I did a lot of collages, and I think it was again just because I couldn't make a decision. So I was like, well, maybe this one or maybe that one. And to your point, when there's too much, then people don't get the message.
mhm.
And then it's just, they just keep on scrolling by because they can't zoom in or they can't do anything. So definitely is keep it to a single image, and then save that other image to reuse in a few weeks. That's the other thing too, is I always felt like stuff had to always be fresh and new. And I'm noticing like Chalene Johnson and people like that, like they're posting some of the same things every couple weeks. Like, I mean, a different message, but a similar type shot. So let's say, so like for the health bet, I had my kid, my poor children, I make them take pictures for me. I had my son take like 5 pictures in this cool alleyway that we found, you know, and I just used 1 or 2 of them for the health bet invite, and I'm going to use the rest of them for another thing in another couple weeks. So just build yourself a little collection of stuff and then just reuse it.
Totally agreed. Okay, so how do we find the time to learn all these other tools? So for me, and I think Kristen would agree, WordSwag is probably the best and most user-friendly. There's literally no learning curve. I have iPhone. I don't know if it's available for Android. I would imagine it would be, but it's so easy, you guys. Like, I would just learn that one and skip, like, don't learn any of the other stuff. You really don't need to until, you know, maybe you get tired of it and want to learn something else. But that will basically do all of your social media posts for you. Another thing, I use Canva for a lot of my online stuff that I do. Also, like templates, you just pop your stuff in. So that would be another tool that I would recommend learning that isn't like on your phone. It's a desktop, like photo editor and publisher. So those are 2 that I would start with. Yeah, WordSwag. And I guess I would just take it one at a time. You know, we mentioned so many of these tools that you could be using. You don't have to be using all of them. Pick one and learn it. And that's all you need to do to begin with. Yeah. So Nicole has some great recommendations here too. But yeah, okay, Megan wants to know, where do you store your photos? I just store them right on my camera or my phone. I've got a lot of storage on here too, but I do have a Dropbox account. So if it gets really full, then I can always upload it there. But, you know, I guess that's an individual thing too. Just keep clearing off your phone. One thing I did want to mention that I put on the list before we end the call tonight is just that go for no mentality. Because I know so many of you are probably afraid of inviting because you don't want to hear no. I just want to give you a little bit different perspective on that too. And I think I kind of hinted at that too when I talked about working from a list and revisiting people every month until they would tell me to take me off your list. So just know that people need to be invited over and over and over again. And when they say no, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no because it's not the right time for them. It doesn't have a reflection on you unless you turn it into that. So that's where personal development is really, really important, you guys. If you're taking no personally, you need to work on yourself a little bit. You need to develop that tough skin, which is easier said than done. I know a lot of times, but you need to have that tough armor and that strong why, and just be so strong in why you're doing this and why you want to help people that no doesn't bother you. And just know that, you know, it is a numbers game. You're probably going to have to ask 10 people before you get one person to buy a challenge pack, but that's fine. It's totally fine. You have planted 10 seeds that might pay off later. I was just talking to a coach, actually voice messaging them on Facebook this afternoon. You know, she was discouraged because she's sending out all these messages and everyone's saying no. And I'm like, don't look at it that way. You are planting all these seeds. Maybe this is a really busy week for them and they can't even think about it right now. I mean, so many people, this is like they're back to school time. They're gearing up for Labor Day. they're like, don't bother me, you know? But in a month from now, when they want to start a fitness program, they might remember you, especially if you're consistent with your posting. So I guess for me, it's just about changing your mindset, desensitizing yourself to no, being so strong in your why that no doesn't even matter. It really doesn't. And, you know, I love Beachbody programs. I love the products. So if people say no, I'm like, I really don't care, because I will find someone else that will say yes. So just move on to the next person, and always be expanding your social network so you have more people to ask. So with that, do any of the other coaches want to weigh in on that? Like, because like no is not fun to hear, especially when you're a new coach. So, okay, I'll pick on you, Kristen, because you're on my screen right now. And maybe we can get Nicole to weigh in a little bit too here, because she's been around for a little bit. But like, what would your advice be about the go for no kind of thing?
So it really helped me to do personal development around Go for No, because I'm a people pleaser and I'm taking everything personally. And so listening to like Go for No and some of those shorter YouTube clips from some Asian guy who did a big thing about trying to go for 100 no's. Mm-hmm. And that really helped me to kind of get over some of that stuff. And then just, I'll give you an example of no's that happened to me just this last week. There was a girl at the health club who she was like gung-ho. She was all in. I spent an hour talking with her. She got her husband and her best friend. They were all going to do it, right? They were ready to sign up. I sent the stuff off, and then she's like, well, had some car problems. Talk to me on Wednesday when I get paid. So I talked to her yesterday, crickets, right? So I'm like, there's 6 SC points in my head. I'm like, oh my God, they're gone. In the meantime, I have sold 4 more challenge packs to people who were like totally random. Just tonight, we were out at a family function event, and this girl is talking to me. She's like, oh yeah, I saw that you were doing the 21-day fix. I'm doing the 21-day fix. And I said, oh my gosh, you need to be doing the health bet with us. Next thing you know, I've got my coach app and I'm signing her up, and she's buying a 21-day Fix Extreme challenge pack so that she can do the health bet with us. So you can't get caught up in one thing and count your eggs in one basket, because stuff will come and stuff will go. So you have to just keep talking to people. And when they say no, it might not be right now. I've had people who have said, no, absolutely not. I'm going to do Isogenics. And 6 months later, they're ordering the Shakeology sampler pack from me. You just keep talking about it, and just know that you're doing what you're doing, and if it's for them, great, and if not, no big deal. Just like if people are asking you to buy their 31 bags and you're just like, I'm not organized, I don't like caring about what my bags are, I'm going to grab a plastic bag from Target, it doesn't make sense for me to do that. Okay, doesn't mean that person that asked you to their 31 party is awful, right? It's just not your thing. So yeah.
Nicole, did you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think too, you have to remember that if you don't invite people, somebody else is going to. One of my coaches signed up, bought a program, and she says that she had a girl that she followed, was her friend on Facebook, who was doing P90X, and you know, she watched her and she said it. If she would have messaged me, I would have said yes to her, and she never did. So she went, she ordered it through Team Beachbody, got some random coach, and, you know, we've connected since online. But if you're not asking them, somebody else is going to. And again, like Kristen Kim says, I mean, the worst they're going to say is no. But if they do become ready and they do watch your journey and they see if you're being consistent with it, someday, you know, they're going to remember what you're up to, and they, you know, may reach back out to you, or maybe you'll follow up or connect about something else. And there's always that option.
Yeah, I love the fact that you pointed out that if you don't ask them, someone else will. Because I think almost every coach, if you've been doing it for a while, you probably had that happen to you. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I should have been inviting. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, Shani wants to know, how do you handle people that have done a round and quit? Yeah, you know what? That it kind of hurts a little bit. You know, you want all your challengers to see success, and when they don't, you do take it a little bit personally. I have a hard time with people getting getting them involved with the challenge groups. It's like, I do tend to, now I'm better at reaching out to them privately to say, hey, I haven't seen you post in a week, what's going on? And sometimes I'll get, well, I'm doing the workouts, I just don't have time to post in the group. And that's fine. The group isn't for everybody. You don't have to do that. But you just have to not take it personally, be there for them when they need you. And, just offer them all the tools in your arsenal, whether it's your challenge group, your advice, offer that they reach out to you if they have questions. And then, you know what, you kind of have to just say the ball is in their court right now. So, and people will quit and they'll fail, but then hopefully they'll remember that you have these things to offer, and when they're ready again, they'll come back. So I've had a lot of that happen too. People, I won't see them for 6 months. They will have put on, 20 pounds in the meantime, then they'll come back and they'll be like, you know what, that group really did work for me. I want to try it again. So just never take those people off your list and keep in touch with them. Always keep in touch with them. So I guess that would be my advice. All right, it's kind of quiet now. Anyone else have any other questions before we wrap up the call? Well, I don't think we do. So, because the call we've almost put in an hour here, you guys, I think I'll log off, just respect everyone's time. Thanks everybody for getting on the call. I will be posting the playback. Hopefully you guys, anyone that didn't see it will catch it later. And this weekend, what I just want to leave you guys with is inviting for the health bet. It has really been a big thing for me. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, I'm like at 39 Success Club points. I would say 15 of those have happened in the last week because of the health bet. So this is all people reaching out to me saying, oh, how do I get Shakeology? Like, that never happens. Usually it's always like, you need to get your Shakeology. No, people are asking me now. So please leverage the health bet. In our team group, there is a file in the file section. I kind of have it all broken down on the steps you need to take to set up your event page and do all that kind of stuff. So if you do that, you will hit Success Club 5. So those are the tools I'm leaving you with tonight. You guys have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you online. Good night, everybody.